Hello world, so we're going to be taking a look at Chitubox Pro today, and I was lucky enough to be given a little bit of a trial by Chitubox to do this review. So when you get to the Chitubox website, there'll be loads of pop-ups, just ignore those. Click onto Chitubox at the top and then Chitubox Pro. Okay, again you'll get loads of pop-ups, just ignore those. And click on the, you basically want to click on download. Now this Pro version of Chitubox offers some extra features, better supports, with some extra options for adding supports in, which might be quite nice. You know, add up to 9 types of support structures, branch, tree-like, and contour supports. So interested to have a quick look at that. Different profiles, so you can have different profiles set up, different printer profiles, and apply those at different points within a print. What else have we got? Model repair tool set. So sometimes, you know, when we design our models, they might need tweaking. You can do that inside Chitubox now. For example, island detection, as you can see, they advertise that quite now. So for repairing, you can add tags to it. So you can add your maker mark to your models inside Chitubox. Auto layout for multiple files on the bed, and splitting multi-part STL files, for example, directly in your slicer, a bit like Cura's plugin, but already there for you, ready to go. So this should be quite interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and, I mean, you can click the buy now and create yourself an account if you want to buy it. If not, you can go to the download. If you've already got a license, you can go to the download link. And once you've downloaded it, you just simply double click it. It'll ask for you to give it permissions, which I'll do now. So just asking for admin privileges to install. And then just follow the standard install steps where you want it to be located. To confirm, I'm running Windows 10 at the moment on this machine, and I have got the standard free version of Chitubox installed, so you can run the two together. So that is not an issue, or I haven't found it to be an issue. Now you may have to update your firmware on your printer to run this version, which I don't really like, to be honest. Uncle Jesse was talking about it in some of his videos, that they're starting to lock the printers down to require specific versions of the software, and I don't really agree with that at all. But that's their decision. They want to try and commercialize the software. Fair play to them, I suppose. So yeah, let's check this out. Let's get into the software, get it loaded, and see what happens. So you can see we have to log in. You can remember me and auto log in, so you do need to have an account with them. Once we're logged in, we can see it looks very similar to the free version that we are used to. It comes up with a little welcome window, open, add machine or license. So I'm going to go to add machine, and I'm going to select Elegoo, and I'm going to select, I'll do it for my Saturn. So you're going to select Elegoo Saturn. You can give it a name. You can choose your thickness and things like that, and just click apply. Okay, so as you can see, it looks very similar to what we already recognize in the normal Chitubox. There's some controls on the right hand side to open projects. You've got the normal tools on the left hand side, the scale, mirror, rotate, move, select. There's this new ribbon feature at the top, and this has several different options in. There's add machine, select, export, open, as you can see. If we go into the prepare tab, we've got copy, split model, auto rotation, auto layout, add tag, and a few other familiar things like dig hole and hollow. And then some of the other options we can't actually go onto yet because we haven't got a model. So we need to get a model imported. So I'm going to drop in this bust of Boba Fett. So this has been keyed and cut, and when we bring it in, it says there's damaged, the model's damaged. Would we like to try to auto repair? So I'm going to click yes to see what happens. Now this does take a little bit of time to run a basic repair on the model. So this is a Hex 3D model, so there shouldn't, I wouldn't have thought there'd be much wrong with it, but clearly there's something it doesn't like. So just letting it run and do its thing. And see, it does take quite a bit of time. Once it's actually finished, it should, I would have thought, bring up an option to ask us what we want to do with it. So I selected to keep just a repair only. I think it had an excess shell. I'm then going to scale the model because it is quite big, so I'm going to scale it to 40%, just so it's a little bit. And I want to test out this auto layout function. So I'm just going to test out the auto layout by clicking the auto layout, click the green icon, and it gives us some options. I'm going to select just platform placement in the main area to center it, and that works quite well. Checking the auto orientation, and this just seems to be random. There's no real science behind it, I don't think. It's just every time you click it, it's in a different position. Okay, so let's undo this and go back. Oh, a little bit too far. Let's just redo the scale. So reposition it to the front facing. So I'm going to try the Boolean operation. So this is how I would see this being useful. So I brought in the Boba Fett helmet. I'm going to scale that down to the same size as the body. So I want the helmet to be 40%. Okay, so once that's scaled, I'm going to go to the Boolean operation, which is on the Prepare tab. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Move tool to move the helmet into the position I want. I'm going to play about with the rotate and see if I can line this up. Might be an easy way to do this, but this is how I would do it for, you know, just for trial, just a bit of trial and error to see how it goes. So just move that, position it to where you want it. Okay, and I might, like I say, you can check and roughly see if it's where it should be. Now obviously if you've got the model and it isn't cut, then you wouldn't need to do this, but if you have got a model that is in multiple parts and you want to just quickly join them together, you can do. So I'm just going to rotate this slightly so as it lines up better. And once I'm happy, we can apply the operation. So again, just a little bit fiddly. I just want to see how well I can position it. And you can see that that's pretty much lined up, and I can bring it down slightly. So there. So that's close enough. That'll look alright. So we're going to apply this, and we'll just hit the Boolean operation again, and we can select A plus B to join them together and keep both parts. Trying to record this is a bit of a nightmare. The window of Chitubox Pro just does not play well. There we go, so it keeps going black, so I have been cutting this out so you haven't been bothered by it, but it's just a bit of a nightmare. You can see here the operation's been okay, and you can keep both files or you can just keep your file that's combined, but I'm really getting frustrated with the Chitubox window not snapping left or right in Windows, things not opening properly. Not really what you expect for a paid for piece of software, really. Hopefully the updates will sort that. So I've deleted the other model that had the two split parts, and this is the one that has been joined together. So let's see what else we can do. Okay, so let's check out hollowing a model. So very much in the same way as the free version, we can hollow the model out. Now, when I do my prints, I normally do leave them hollow, but on Chitubox Pro, there is a grid infill effect that we can do. So we can still get that animation effect as well. So this is hollowing just normally as I would do with the animation effect, just to see how that works. And then I'm going to hollow it again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the grid effect. So just get that running now. And check this out. So the grid effect is like an infill that still allows the resin to drain out once you put your holes in, but it gives it the model more support. But of course, it's going to use more resin, so it's kind of you got to weigh up. Do you need that extra support inside the model, or are you happy with the hollow model if you're not printing solid? I'll admit that some of my smaller dioramas I have printed solid, purely for just because I wanted something really high quality, and yeah, I was really happy with how that came out. One of them was the Sanix or Malix 3D design Ghostbuster diorama that I'm currently working on. So that's all the Ghostbusters are being printed solid on that. Again, you can see that we've still got the dig hole feature in Chitubox Pro. No issues there whatsoever. So you can still add our holes if we need to. So I'm going to check out the supports. Now, the supports on Chitubox Pro, there are a lot of options compared to the free version. So I don't know, I'm not going to get into all of those today, but certainly I might check those out later on. I'm going to just add some auto supports to see what they're like. I usually use auto supports and then just reinforce areas that I think need it. I know some people really don't like the auto supports on the free version of Chitubox, but I've never had an issue with them. I think it's pretty good mostly, and you can always add some extras if you need it, so that's not really a problem. I wouldn't print it like this. I would put an orientation, maybe a 45-degree orientation on this. So literally just messing about with the orientation there, and then adding some auto supports again just to see where it places them. Again, pretty much the same as the free version. So just waiting for it to add on those supports. Do comment below, let me know what you use, how you like to support your models, and if you're using Chitubox Pro, what do you think of their support options? There are a ton of them. I'm going to check out the brush tool in a minute. I'm quite curious about the brush tool. So again, the auto supports are okay. I'd reinforce in a few areas. This would print fine. I have no issues about this at all. Just a few little bits. Sometimes I like to be a little bit overly cautious and add a few extras, but you know that's looking pretty okay, to be honest. Okay, so I've removed those supports and we're going to check out the brush tool. So grab the brush tool and I'm just going to paint in a few specific areas. The idea of this is you paint on in a specific area and then you just hit the apply all button and it should generate, yeah, there we go, some supports in specific areas that you want to support. So again, gives you a little bit more accuracy to be able to do specific areas. Yeah, I can see this being quite useful. There's also the rectangle tool, the polygon tool, and the freeform tool. So again, just for doing, say, a rectangular area or a more specific area, or again, just freeforming where you want it. I haven't looked at the supports options at the bottom of the screen. As you can see, there's loads of different options down there. I'll try and do a bespoke video on that for you. So I'm just playing out with these different tools, polygon tool. And the highlight seems to work, you know, applying all, and this, I can see this giving you quite a lot of freedom of where you want your supports. If you're somebody who likes to spend a lot of time, you know, making sure that specific areas, especially if it's a highly detailed and quite small or quite fragile model, you might want to add supports in certain areas, and that does give you a bit more control. We got the measure tool. This is quite nice. So again, you can measure point to point. Okay, which is I can see that being quite useful. But again, if you're using, you know, I mean, measuring, there are tools in Mesh Mixer. Okay, so let's check out splitting a multi-part model. So I usually do this using the Cura plugin. So there's a nice little plugin in Cura you can use. Now, I've sort of selected this and told it to split, and it has split it. But you can see it's created loads and loads of different splits. So it's actually sort of cut up parts of the model. So this could be because of the design, the way the model's been designed, but actually that for me, this is a little bit disappointing. I've split this model using Cura, and yeah, it doesn't do that. It doesn't sort of leave all these objects and artifacts on the bed and around. So maybe something that will be improved in later updates. Hopefully we'll see a little bit of an improvement there. I will play about with this, and if I do find, I'll try some other models on it, and if it does work better, then I might post a little update to this. We've got the add tag feature. This is it's quite nice. I mean, you can literally write out, you know, your maker mark and add it on either extruded or intruding into the model. So for example, TOC, Teacher Computing. If I'd made this model, you know, I could add, I obviously wouldn't add it there, but just for an example of the two different options. To be honest though, if I was making that model, then I would have designed it in Blender, and at the time I would have added on a maker mark. So I'd be interested to know what Chitubox's thought process is behind the add tag. Yeah, I mean, it could be good for adding maybe some text to a model. So let's say you've got a model that you're not sure how to customize and you want to add a name to it or a little bit of text, then possibly. But yeah, not a feature I would make a lot of use of. Yeah, just something to think on really. So we're going to check out the last thing we're going to do today is check out the multiple profiles. So you can have multiple profiles and you can print different parts or different models with multiple profiles. So let's check that out. Okay, so if we go down to the right hand side and we click this little arrow next to slice, parameter slice, we can change it to multi-part. Okay, and then you've got some options. You do model, height, cross section. So if I do model, what we can do is we can bring in the Boba Fett helmet, and we can take a look at maybe setting up two different profiles. Okay, so I've brought the Boba Fett helmet in and just resizing that slightly, and then we're gonna select the multi parameter slice, and I'm going to select the first model, which is the body, and select profile 1. And yeah, so then what we need to do is we need to create a second profile and change some of the settings. So there's loads of things you could change here. It depends what you're trying to do really. So this is purely just to show you and give you an idea of how you can get this to work. But yeah, just have a play about with your settings and decide what you want to do. There might be so the cross section option might be better if you're trying to print a certain part of a model in a slightly different way. So for example, you might want a longer exposure time on, say, the top half of the model compared to the bottom half. yeah, so we can set that up, and yeah, so we can see here that I've selected the first one. I'm now selecting the head and changing it to profile 1, and is a color change showing that each model has a different profile and will slice differently. So that's it for today, guys. So I hope you've found something in this useful, or it's helped you decide whether you want to go for Chitubox Pro or not. Personally, I probably wouldn't purchase it for myself because I do use Blender, Fusion 360, Mesh Mixer, and things like that. So the additional tools that are in Chitubox Pro for me probably wouldn't be worth it. But if you're invested in into the printers that that would benefit from the firmware and the software by having Chitubox Pro, then maybe it is useful for you. For me, it's not, and I will continue to use the free version and then do the other stuff I need to do in the other programs I use. Do comment below, let me know what you think of the Pro version and the sort of the pricing structure and how they've set out what it is they're aiming to achieve. Personally, I love the free version. I just don't see the need for some of the features in the Pro version, but that is something that you have to make a personal choice about, and it's a personal decision. And I've got a couple of friends who use it and they absolutely love it. They won't use anything else, and that's their choice. So again, I hope it's been helpful. Please remember to like, subscribe and share. Have a great day, everyone.